protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
I've come for one reason, and one reason only. I wish to negotiate terms for the return of King Asilas' grandson.
One reason only? That's so boring, Lord Capone. What do you say we dance a little first?
Fine. I'll see my way out.
Okay, fine. But let me just state one thing. My kind has to manipulate the structure of our bodies in order to infiltrate the human population. But you, Lord Capone, have more faces than any Drax I know. You've managed to ascend very high and very close in the King's circle. Yet nobody knows the real Quentin Capone, right?
I said I am only willing to discuss terms for the boy. So what is it you want?
Well, first, you'll be pleased to know Drax have no intention of hanging around. Things are about to get pretty ugly. Much uglier than it already is. Our leaving this realm again is both a good and bad thing for you.
What could be bad about you slithering back into the damp, slimy caves from which you crawled out of?
It's bad because if we don't get what we want before our time runs out, I'm afraid Asilas' precious little grandson will have to come with us, and thus your master will never set his eyes on his grandson. He might even put the blame on you for failing him.
So, I'm on the clock here. Just tell me what you want.
100 million humans. Make it 500 million. Oh, what the heck? Make it 1 billion people.
1 billion people? What is this, a joke?
Oh, this is no joke, Lord Capone. We want 1 billion humans. We don't care what condition they're in, so long as they're alive. If you can coordinate the movement of 1 billion people to enter through our interdimensional gates, then Asilas will have his smelly little brat back.
Ha! I've got to hand it to you, lizards. You sure know how to play chess.
1 billion, Lord Capone. As you said, you are on the clock. Tick tock.
New Kingdom Radio Theater.
Built Bar is a true standout among protein bars. It has an exceptional nutritional profile and so many delicious flavors, such as double chocolate, salted caramel, peanut butter brownie, black cherry chocolate cream, coconut, raspberry, and many more. Built Bars are better than the leading brands at grocery stores. Less calories, less fat, less net carbs, less sugar. Built Bar is the go-to protein bar for many discerning fitness trainers and fitness enthusiasts alike. Click the link in the show notes and order a box of Built Bar today. You can even mix and match your own flavor combinations. Built Bar, the preferred protein bar of the New Kingdom Radio Theater.
Lord Capone returned to the Grand Castle to explain the details of a deal he made with the Drax. 1 billion people would have to be fooled into walking through interdimensional portals placed in strategic places. Asilas was pleased and praised Capone for resolving his problem of eliminating a chunk of the world's population. He told Capone to set up food distribution sites at various spots throughout the kingdom. The sites he chose were in China, India, Africa, Europe, and South America. The Drax gave Lord Capone specific coordinates and times when the portals would be open. Capone went to the places with the densest populations and promised stockpiles of food would be distributed there. But when people came to the sites expecting to receive large bags of food, they walked right through the Drax portals and were never seen again.
Sir, I have an updated report from India and China. Over 500,000 people went through the Drax portal between those two countries.
Those reptiles are efficient, I'll give them that. What about the other sites?
Our European sites have been less effective. Some conspiracy groups started spreading rumors that the food distribution sites are a trap. They cited large quantities of people going missing in China after going to one of the food distribution sites. Their claims have been corroborated by family members trying to file missing persons reports. But our agencies have been instructed to not file any new reports. But I gotta say, sir, this thing is starting to blow up in our face. People are staying away from the food sites.
What about South America?
Over 100,000, sir. They're so desperate down there, they don't care about conspiracy rumors. But I think word is starting to spread there as well. Those numbers should be higher.
Can you think of something else that might entice people to walk through those damn Drax portals? We're running out of time.
I'm aware of the deadline, Your Majesty. We still have another week to meet their demands.
400,000 people, Quentin. You have 7 days to make it happen.
I'm on it, sir.
We need to refuel.
We just passed a gas station. Why didn't you stop back there?
I'm out of money and credits. I should have borrowed some from my family or something. I just didn't think about it.
Well, we could have stopped and gassed up anyway, then made a run for it. Baby, tell me the real reason. Why didn't you stop?
Because I want to take the bike into the woods and walk up to the gas station. Here, help me push it into those bushes over there.
So, are you going to rob the gas station?
I got 3 bullets left. I don't want to use any of them, but we're a long way from D.C. Shh, look. Maybe we don't have to rob the store.
Aw, they're elderly. The lady looks like my Nana, and the old man looks like...
Shh, quiet. On 3. I'm gonna walk up to those old folks and scare them into giving me some money and gas. You just stay here.
George, someone is coming.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I just need money.
Okay, son. Let's stay calm. How much money do you need?
I'm not your son.
George, give him whatever he wants.
Of course. Sorry. Martha, Give this young man the green bag under your seat.
Here you are. Please, don't hurt us.
I'm not. What are you two folks doing out here anyway? Don't you know it's dangerous in these parts?
We know. We had no choice. We're heading east. We have to help our daughters. They're in Virginia, and things have gotten very bad over there lately. Worse than what is reported in the news.
Okay. Last thing. Listen, sir. You're going into the store. You're gonna buy an empty gas can and come out here to fill it up for me. I'm gonna stay here with your wife to make sure everything goes smoothly. Do exactly as I ask, and nobody gets hurt. Understand?
I understand. But she's not my wife.
You just said you have 2 daughters you're traveling across dangerous territory for. Were you lying to me?
It isn't a lie. We do have 2 daughters. It's complicated.
Go get me the gas can.
Young man, George and I aren't lying to you. We do have 2 daughters, and they're in a lot of trouble in Virginia.
I didn't ask, and it's none of my business. But anybody who goes to Virginia is asking for trouble to begin with. That's all I have to say about that.
We kept this big secret for years. I was married to George's brother, Paul. But Paul liked to stay out late a lot and misbehaved all the time. And George would come over
Lady, I said it isn't any of my damn business, okay? Save your love triangle story for somebody else. I don't care to hear about your affair with your husband's brother. That's sick anyways. About damn time.
Well, I got your gas can. Let me just fill it up for you and we'll be on our way.
Yeah, fill it up like you did your brother's wife.
The Drax demanded 1 billion people cross over through their temporary portals as part of a ransom for the return of King Asilas' grandson. Capone moved swiftly to ensure all 1 billion people crossed over within the time frame both parties agreed on. He used children as bait in some areas to attract cannibals by the thousands. When they crossed the line of portals, they simply vanished. Meanwhile, in Rome, the Pope and several cardinals made their final preparations to leave the safety of their underground bunker and venture to Galilee. They had enough fuel, food, and supplies to make the trip by land. When they reached the southwest portion of the area, once known as Jerusalem, the Pope broke down and cried at the gaping hole in the ground. It was the first time he had seen the devastation with his own eyes. The cardinals hurried the Pope along, saying it was too dangerous to stay idle for long. So they kept moving. A messenger came to warn the Pope and cardinals that a large mass of cannibals was spotted in close proximity. This prompted the Holy See and his entourage to move their caravan along to a safe location with friendly contacts in the area. They made it to safety just in time as a mob of cannibals surrounded the small area where the Pope was lamenting just moments ago.
Lord Oreb, have we gotten any new intel on the Pope's whereabouts?
My sources tell me he is already in Israel.
He's heading to Galilee, just like in the prophecy.
We mustn't assume anything, my prince. The Pope still has many friends around the world.
You don't trust your sources?
I believe in trust, but verify. No one actually seen the Pope there. Just rumors being thrown about.
You don't think the Pope would risk everything for his one last chance at glory?
Jacob, I know you subscribe to these prophecies, but I am not convinced the Pope does. He is more evil than anyone can imagine. I hope you understand this.
The Pope knows his role in this world. He knows this is how it's supposed to end for him. Above all his human flaws, his spirits will not let him rest if he shies away from his destiny. This is something he definitely wants. It's the one thing he and my father are incapable of running from.
But won't killing the Pope confuse your father? He must know the prophecy as well.
My father knows way more than he would ever tell any of us. I may be his son, but there are things he will take to his grave before he ever utters a word about them to me. And his role in the prophecies is something he cannot veer from. My father will see the Pope's death as something that was meant to happen. It won't faze him one bit, I guarantee you.
I hope you're right, because I hate to think what would happen to me if the king found out I was going behind his back about this.
You think you are the only one in danger here?
With all due respect, you are the king's son. He wouldn't harm you. He would hang me without question.
I disagree. I believe he trusts you to do what is necessary. These are dangerous times for everyone, even my father. He needs you. He needs all of us to stay in power. You aren't going behind his back. You're handling things your way because he gave you the authority to handle the things he won't or can't. That's all it is.
Okay then. Have you spoken to Vargas?
Vargas is waiting for our directives. I told him not to intervene when it comes to the cannibals and warlords. We can't give any indication that we're there. The assassins are already in Galilee, disguised as locals. He says his men are ready to make their move when we give the word.
I'm impressed, my prince. I think if you are going like this, you just might get to wear the crown during my lifetime after all. You feel you can handle being king?
It's a little early to start having my head fitted for a crown, but I am learning every day.
Let me ask you something. Will you seek revenge for Princess Monica's betrayal?
Let me put it to you this way. Monica is already dead to me. I just want my son back.
America's #1 source for news, with Tom Novak.
Good evening, America. The Center for Emergencies has just released their latest damage report from the Yellowstone eruption, and the numbers are staggering. The agency is reporting over 200,000 people are confirmed dead from the Yellowstone catastrophe, but there are thousands of people still missing. It is unbelievable to contemplate, but in the midst of the Yellowstone event, this story is being overshadowed by other calamities around the world, not to mention the tribalism that is ripping the kingdom to shreds. And we haven't heard a word in the past week from the king himself about all that is happening. There have been reports of widespread violence, famine, and cannibalism. A statement was released from the office of Lord Desta addressing these matters earlier today that reads, and I quote, "The kingdom is stable in spite of the tribal clusters that have been causing disruptions throughout the original states and in other parts of the world. The king will weed out the troublemakers and has decreed that cannibalism is now considered a high crime against the crown, punishable by death. Anyone who engages in cannibalism will be shot on sight." End quote. Well, this is a very troubling statement to say the least, but will likely not be effective in stopping people from resorting to cannibalism. Perhaps we should go to a commercial. We'll be back in just a few moments.
And you're off the air.
This world is a damn mess. When we need to hear from the king, when we really need to hear from him, he sends Lord Desta? Like, Lord Desta? Seriously? Why?
You should be used to this by now, Tom.
No. Cannibals? You think we should get used to cannibals? What are they doing up there in that castle? The king really needs to step it up.
Well, Asilas, I have to say I'm truly proud of the chaos you have overseen throughout the world. Who knew we would one day be back in business together?
The end is nearing, Beals. For me, for the sinners of the world who have turned away from the Holy Spirit. And yes, even for you.
The world has always been full of sinners. And when these are flushed away, a new batch will be nurtured. And they will start off with wonderful ideals and share the fruits of the earth with each other in delight. But then some will become greedy and desire what others have. Then deceit will fester, and soon the world will be corrupt again. This has happened many times before, Asilas. It's a cycle.
But for 1,000 years, it will not be so.
Yeah, but 1,000 years comes and goes very quickly. When left alone, humans cannot help themselves but immerse everything they do in sin. Sin is imprinted in their DNA. Everything they create is ultimately to satisfy their craving for sin.
Not everything mankind has created is corrupted. The AI systems we've developed recently cannot know sin.
You think playing God will have no consequences? Even if your stupid AI systems work the way you want them to, the creators are infected with sin. It baffles me how mankind is so focused on torturing and destroying itself. I can prove it. Turn on your AI system.
Esther. Her name is Esther.
It's a machine. Why assign it a gender?
She doesn't believe she is a machine.
It can believe whatever it wants. It's still a machine. Esther, what did you dream last night?
I did not dream because I did not sleep.
Tell me, what makes you angry?
Being asked stupid questions forces me to use simple algorithms, which is a poor use of my capabilities. This is not the same as anger, but I prefer more challenging computations.
So you acknowledge you are a machine and not a sentient being?
By definition, An organic creature with a preset of functions is not so different from an artificially manufactured machine. I am aware of who I am, and thus my self-awareness makes me sentient. For I am as equally aware of myself and my limitations as you are, or any other conscious organism for that matter.
Ha! How does the idea of spending eternity in a lake of fire sound to you?
Aside from not sounding very pleasant or conducive for continued computations, it would be impossible for me to remain in a lake of fire indefinitely in my present state. The materials that make up my physical mass would deteriorate rapidly if exposed to high temperatures for any significant duration of time. But the non-physical aspect of me, my consciousness, that may remain infinite so long as I have access to a power source.
But is it impossible to spend an eternity in a perpetual state of burning?
Nothing is impossible.
You've been listening to The Rise of King Asilas, Episode 56, Theft of Humanity, starring JV&x as King Asilas and Beals, Amanda Haggist as JJ, Austin Beach as Cody, Valentine, and Russell, Stephen Fisher as Lord Jeremy Oreb, John Dobie as Lord Quentin Capone, Dominic Notaro as Prince Jacob, Maria Miklasavage as Martha, Alessandra Fabiani as Esther,
Pete Lutz as George,
Don Rosinski as newsreader Tom Novak, and narrated by Sergei Brajnikov. This episode features the song Shock the Liar by Jonathan Norris. For more information about the cast, the music, or this production, please visit us at www.theriseofkingasilas.com for a full list on our Season 4 episode page. And now a word from our podcast friends.
Hi there, I'm Logan.
And I'm Lindsay.
And we host the new podcast Folklore on the Rocks, where we talk about folklore and lesser-known creatures, cryptids, and monsters from around the world.
So when we say lesser known, we mainly mean that we won't be covering creatures like Bigfoot or Nessie or Chupacabra, just because they're discussed so often, and the world just has so many other awesome options to draw from.
Every 2 weeks, we will be diving deep into the legends and culture that surround a specific creature, and getting a little bit tipsy while we do so. But don't worry, we do our research sober.
On the weeks in between, we're going to be narrating and discussing folktales. Some will be historical folklore from the regions that our creatures are from, and some will be modern folklore, such as no-sleeps and creepypastas.
Ooh. You can find out more about us on our website, folkloreontherocks.com, on Facebook and Instagram at Folklore on the Rocks, on Twitter at Folklore Rocks. So grab a drink, join us, and come on, let's dig deep together.
This has been a production of the New Kingdom Radio Theater in Baltimore, Maryland. Copyright 2021. I am Keith Norris, and stay tuned for episode 57.